Thank you for that warm welcome. So yeah, Firetail is a copper-focused explorer with projects in Canada and Peru, and I'll run you through both of those today. Usual disclaimers, so very tight ship, 3 on the board, and small teams based in Australia and in Peru. So Rob Jewson, chairman, so he's got a strong track record of M&A, vended over hundreds of millions of dollars worth of assets into companies. Myself, I'm an operational geologist, so love being out on the ground, strong technical background, and the last one on the list there, Mr. Lawson, needs no introduction. Everyone knows what he's achieved recently. Corporate overview is massively out of date because this was done 2 days ago. Key shareholders are still the same though, so we've got board and management with a good chunk and some resource funds involved there. Largest shareholder is the vendor of our Skyline asset as well, so they're holding on for the ride. The key value drivers. So we're exploring for major copper assets in 2 of the best jurisdictions in the world. We're in the right postcodes. District scale VMS opportunity in Newfoundland, Canada, which is a new hotspot for exploration, both in gold and in copper. We're looking for tier 1 scale porphyry discoveries in Peru as well, which has got a strong track record. There's lots of porphyry mines in that part of the world. BHP's got involved. They're supporting the Picture project through the Explore program. They like what they're seeing down there, and they believe that there's an opportunity for a path forward. The team itself, a strong track record of M&A with a strengthened balance sheet from our recent raise in February. So first one to run through is the Skyline project. So it's a high-grade opportunity. This is a quality over quantity asset. As with most VMS systems, these are typically high-grade. So the area is itself proven. We've got Firefly up the road doing work. There is other gold and copper explorers in the region in the same rocks as us. It's a skilled workforce, so a very blue-collar island. Lots of operations around mining, forestry and fisheries. So they love getting dirty, getting the work done. Mining friendly, so top tier rated depending on which index you compare against. Newfoundland's probably number 1 or number 2 on the list for anyone. And exceptional access and infrastructure. We can get there year round. There's flights year round to Corner Brook. That's how everyone on the western side of the island gets in and out. We've got a sealed road that runs across the northern part of the property that goes to our local town, which is where we base ourselves. Deposit style itself, so Cypress style. This is the original copper deposit. It was mined 5,000 years ago, and this is why copper is called copper from the Cypress style name. So the geological setting we've got at Skyline is exactly the same as in Cypress. So that Troodos ophiolite sequence is replicated here and is largely unexplored. So the largest of which at that deposit style is the Maravuni, which is 17 million tonnes at 4.5% copper. So again, high grade and quality asset. It's hosted in a pillow basalt sequence, so it's an in situ sulfide deposit. And modern production from that area is 72 million tonnes of VMS ore. So like I said, it's been mined for over 5,000 years, 7,000 years now, so it's not a new concept. There is a historic mine on the property, produced over 100,000 tonnes. That's some pretty loosely regulated grades back then, so either way it was very profitable for them. We've got 110 square kilometres of this land package that is largely unexplored, so we're using modern techniques to, unlock the potential of this area. So because of the size and scale, a lot of them are blind at surface. The Skyline property has one outcropping at the York Harbour mine, which is where the historic mine shafts were sunk. Some of the recent drill results you can see there, they are spectacular grades over decent thicknesses, and I've got a few examples of those VMS rocks in the booth. So IP, typical, VMS is targeted with EM, not in this case, so we're using IP. High chargeability, low resistivity, so these zones, like I said, are very discrete, but a lot of metals in place very quickly. So we've got geophysics happening on the ground this week, and next week we'll start our 3D IP, which will generate the drill targets for the phase 2 drilling program that we plan on doing later this year. Understanding the rocks and how to target them, ask the right question to get the right answer. is how we're trying to find these things. So the idea is that this whole sequence is folded over like a taco. Explored one side, there's a mine there. So we're seeing the exact same signature on the other side of the fold sequence, which is the governor's target zone, which is where this 3D IP will give us very specific targets. So that'll generate something we can actually tangibly put a hole into later this year. We'll now jump to South America. So this is the Peru copper project, so Picha and Chiraque. I'll be covering the Picha project today. We put this forward for the BHP Explore program last year as a way to sort of help us find something really big. Ticked enough of the boxes for BHP. They like the postcode, they like who's around us, they like the rocks. We've got a team based in country, good government and community relations, which is crucially important down that part of the world. We've got a camp, we've got infrastructure. Again, a lot like Newfoundland, the mining is at the backbone of their economy, is a significant chunk of their GDP and their exports. So there's been a lot of focus in that part of the world at the moment, a lot of copper discoveries. The AusQuest guys aren't too far off that map, actually, just to the north. And there's a few others sort of in Chile and in Argentina that are now exploring from a junior level. The Picha copper project itself, so we have targets. There's copper hanging out the ground at surface. So we've got, channels, grades that, people would be enviable anywhere in the world. We're trying to find something big. We're looking for tier 1 scale deposits, so large porphyries, strata-bound, carbonate replacement deposits that meet the bill for BHP. So we're on the ground at the moment, like I said, with our geophysics, soil sunken program also underway. We've got our drill permitting in, so late Q2, early Q3, we plan on drilling the Ichikola target, which has got 30 metres across the surface at close to 1% copper. And that's just what we're seeing at the surface. We think that's a symptom of a larger system that's operating at depth. So we've got high hopes for what we're seeing there, and lots of news flow to come out of that as well. This was put together by my project manager on site as to what we have the potential for at Picha. So all the deposit styles we're seeing there are examples of what we've got in our local area, what we're seeing around us, what potentially we have hosted on our land package. So 230 square kilometres, this is just a small sample of what we think we have, and the potential is just largely untapped. We're in a greenfield zone, so it's never been drilled, never been looked at before. The last time someone was here mining was the Conquistador days, so that's going back a fair way. So we are, again, it's very progressive country, it's a new frontier. Where we've come from, so I joined the company in officially July last year, appointed MD in September, and that's when the acquisition of Skyline was completed. So we were straight on the ground, did our maiden drilling program. It's not a case of if there's copper there, it's just defining how much. The Picha project was then accepted early Jan, and we've been intently on the ground there as well. Did a placement in February, so cashed ourselves up. This is also backed by the $500K US that BHP give us to do the work in Peru. We've got a lot of work planned over the next 3 months, generating these drill targets. So lots of news flow coming, and then the idea is this will feed into a drilling program later in the year where we can get on the ground at both and start producing some results. So, key reasons to invest. Prospective land holdings. So again, the two parts of the world we're operating in, highly favourable. You've got Peru, that's their main export is copper, so there's lots of people down there looking for copper, lots of interest from majors in that part of the world at the moment, and the obviously structural deficit that's happening with copper at the moment is feeding that narrative. We're doing high potential exploration, so we're asking the big questions driven by the data, what we're seeing on the ground, how do we get the answers to find what we're looking for. The team, again, we've done it before. My background is through Northern Star, through the Firefly resources. Simon's obviously come through the Spartan resources journey, and he's excited by what he's seeing, what we've got here. And then obviously our strategic partner was the BHP business behind us. They're offering technical support across the board. So we've got a team out of Santiago that's helping us, on the ground, drive the exploration narratives, the techniques and what we're trying to look for. So any questions, come see my booth. I'm happy to talk you through and show you off some of the rocks. Yeah, thank you for your time.